Ooh, y'all special. I got a part 2, y'all. I got a part 2 message for that first part that I just went on. Because I had went back and reviewed the message, and I pulled a few more cards as I was listening. Anyway, so we got the village came out. This was significant to me before I even read what it say, because we had the mountain come out the other day, which was talking about the high peaks that you get, and once you get there, where else are you to go? You're to explore what you have created. And based on my TikTok reading and shit, excuse me, based on my TikTok reading, we had the home 4 energy come out, but this is giving like that mother. This is like giving that mother space too. Also, when I was just pulling, the mother came out. But anyway, and then what came out next was the unseen. We had that unseen energy come out previously too. So we were talking about on that last message, and I meant to pull the cards out. We were talking about on that last message how you could be in this realm that we live. You have to find your own way in order to live freely as you would want to, or you would have to conform pretty much to certain things that your spirit may not necessarily be able to have the room to express what's truly there, because it's too busy having to expel energy in other places. But so we got the unseen, and that can, and we were talking about with the unseen energy the other day, this being something in your auric field, like a Lilith energy. The things that you may not be able to necessarily pinpoint, and you could, but might not necessarily be able to pinpoint in a moment, but others can see because it's in your disposition, and it's just in who you are. And not to say that that's a good or bad thing, but you do want to have some type of calibration even in the unseen aspects of yourself and the energies around you. You want to have some type of perspective of that. But then, and I haven't read them yet. We're finna read them at the book. Then we had K-Rose come out. I'm not even familiar with what K-Rose is, but it's blue, which is giving me like information. We got the eye, and the eye is like placed in a sideways, because I know this will be upright because K-Rose is at the bottom. So it's kind of sideways. So let's see what that's about. Some blue eyes. That's an animal eye too. And with this energy right here, this would be, if we were to look at this like a chakra field, this would be root chakra energy of this picture right here. Being able to see internally, and also being the one who has built what's externally too, will provide you with some information that only you'll be able to know about within the unseen realm, that only you'll be able to, like, the unseen energies around you, only you have to concern yourself with how it's affecting like your flow, and you can use your own unseen energies if you were aware of that. Okay, so let's read it out the book though real quick. This is just a part 2 message, you guys. So the village. Yeah, I must be special as a message, or maybe anyway. The village presents us with a conundrum. On one hand, it's the place that feels most like home, that mother energy, that womb. But on the other hand, the place to which, it's the place to which you can always return. Wait a minute, let me start over. It feels like home, the place in which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draws us back. And on the other hand, it's the very place you must leave in order to grow. It's giving Capricorn energy. This is giving like that mother father energy too. You know, the goat be climbing a mountain. And the Capricorn energy is how you build. And you know, your mother's bosom is where you find comfort in. You were nurtured in your mother's womb, yet you do have to come up out into the real world and experience life and create what it is that you would like to create for yourself. Because in the other reading, this world will put you in positions if you allow it to, or you can choose to be the one that built what it is that you had your heart desired though. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists, that unseen energy, that aura space that's around you, and other things and items and people have their aura space and their auric system, or their energy field, their vibrations and their frequencies. What was I saying though? Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists. One, most villagers do not want you to cross, though some support your leaving. So still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders. And this not necessarily got to do with people on the outside of you. This is your own energies. This is your own thoughts and your own feelings, your own whispers in your own spirit. When you attempt to do something for the first time and you're scared, you got to remind yourself, don't be in fear as you experience this scenario, because that's going to throw off everything. No, you just experience it. You got to remind yourself. You got to remember to whisper these things to yourself, or to be aware of these things for yourself. That's why I was talking about that aura, that little energy. Sometimes you may not necessarily be aware of it, but if you could pinpoint it down with this unseen message right here, we ain't got there yet, but this will help you grow into what it is that you're trying to grow. So it's like, remember. And earlier today I was thinking, I was like, I do this all the time, and I'm sure other people do too. But if you could just in any random moment, remember to sit inside yourself and be like, okay, this is actually happening. It don't matter what you're doing, but just activating your own self-awareness. These things will build you up as far as how you can be aware from moment to moment, and of how you'll be able to puppeteer your whole experience more precisely. But also that can cause anxiety too. So let's not go too far on trying to always be aware in the moment too. Just be in the present moment and kind of relax in it though, because like I said, that can build up anxiety as well. And a lot of times wherever you've had your first awarenesses, like if you were in a certain space for the first time, now how do I want to say that? If you were in a certain position or situation, and this is where you experienced a certain awareness for the first time, depending on, like, say you were being embarrassed in order for you to experience this first awareness of the self or something. Anytime you may try to go back into that space of remembering, okay, I'm in my space, I'm in myself, that could be something in the auric system that can throw that out. For an example, depending on the space of your first awarenesses, you can, anyway, I don't want to go too deep into that. That's a side message. So let me see. Though some support your leaving, still you hear whispers of doubt venture beyond its borders. Your own normal things. Like I said, your family lineage may have worked all their lives for somebody else, and you may want to figure out how to do certain things for your own self, or anything. You could have came from a long line of slavery or something, and certain individuals or certain generational curses certain generational cycles could be those whispers, and that can be good or bad though. You can have whispers from your greater, higher. Hold on, y'all. You can get whispers from all kind of different previous scenarios. That's great or bad, but anyway, that ain't the point. Let me read. I got thrown off a little bit. Though some support leaving, still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders. Leaving them behind, the energy of the village is present anytime we feel restricted by a certain group. Because this would be the village, that internal space, that zero energy, your own spirit, your own space, your own soul, what you're aware of based off of where you came from and what you have built and shit, your mother and your father energies, your feminine, masculine energies. That's gonna be your village when you want to dim it all the way down to the self, or simplified perspective. Really yourself, really, because you always look at you first. We know that though. We already know that. Let me see. Though some support and leaving, still you. Okay, where am I at? The energy of the village present anytime we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place, or ideology. You have to still remember your own space, and you have to go and do your inner work, so that if you did come out of certain spaces and that's how you develop, you have to did some inner work to where you can calibrate and be okay with your shadow, and things can be more harmonious type stuff. That maybe that's why this mountain is even black, because mountain, and not to say that darkness is a bad thing, it's just not being seen all the ridges. You can maybe fall or some shit being but then it's so much I can say. We got this aura field right here, this orange and yellow. Bitch, get your ass out of here. Hold on. Those colors were giving individuality. So the aura, okay, is dealing with that part of the aura, or that part of the self, the individual, the solar plexus, the ego. It may have served us in the past, yet staying within its parameters will never satiate our thirst for life. Remember, we were talking about in the last reading, how you could have created something, and then once you finally get to experience what you have created, like the first expression, that number 7 energy that came out in that last reading. It could be a scenario that it's not even capable for you to love for real. It could be, you know what I'm saying? It could be something that well, you could think that it's not capable for you to love. That's the part that you got to calibrate within yourself and figure out, you know, the things that you need to be loving, because that's who you are. You the one built the shit, and you supposed to be learn what you learned from it. But anyway, let me move on. Oh, wait a minute. I ain't finished reading. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing you will someday return for all that it has provided, the good and the bad. For now, the world awaits. For now, you still have to live life. You still got to go through the motion of life. Back to that last reading, some things you still have to do. Oh, the village also had 5 energy. I didn't even look it up. I looked it up before I had jumped on. 41 was the one of the numbers, that's 5. Then 145, that's 1. That's right. So that's that feminine and masculine energy. That's those feelings and with the individual. Because 5, 6, yeah. So with the unseen, I had read this card the other day during the Pisces moon. Let's see what it's talking about. Hold on. I know the unseen is a part of the self. You have unseen energies that you can still be aware of, but everybody does. And we're talking about your specific unseen energies, because this is a self. Number 27, that's 9 energy. That's the ending. That's the overall perspective after everything has been accumulated, and you can look at it and see, okay, this is what it is. 9 is a androgynous number. Unseen being something invisible, androgynous, neither male or female, just is what it is. It's page number 115. That's 7 energy. That's that awareness space. Yeah, I mean, y'all will have to listen to the last reading to know what that 7 energy fully was about, because I'm not going to go all the way back into it because it might throw me off of this current message. Okay, so the unseen is just as it sounds. We cannot see it, yet it sees us, watching and waiting with wisdom, both kind and instructive. We feel it, this presence, sense it, intuit, and you can see it. Like I said, sometimes these things can, you can smell certain things. That's like letting you know certain energies that's around you. But let's not go too deep on that. And then doubt its existence. Then you'll doubt it. Like, oh, somebody was cooking. No, that was something, it was a message. Though it, and I ain't saying like you take every little thing literal, but when you know damn well you're in a space all alone, and yet you smell something, like, was it pleasant? Was it stank? Peep game on that. Because the message in that last reading, we're not under the Pisces moon right now, but still, you gained awareness during that time to where those things some things are kind of like imperative for what's going on. It kind of is tied to something. Not to say that you over exaggerate and peep on everything, but hey, if you're living and experience moment to moment, and you're in the present moment as much as you can't help but to see these things though. So with the inner eye, with that, with this eye right here, I'm sure that's what that eye gonna be talking about. Where the card just went? Ooh, I know I ain't lose it. Oh, here you go. So it says, though it rallies our attention again and again, the energy of the unseen may come in many forms. Hold on. Though it rallies our attention again and again, you may claim that you don't see it. The energy of the unseen may come in many forms: a compelling dream, a sudden insight, a clear voice, a vision, or a message from a loved one who has passed to the other side. Whatever was, I don't want to be so literal, so I ain't gonna say that. It is natural to fear these communications as they challenge our perception of what is real. When this card appears, your guides are near. The eternal is present. The doorway between worlds is ajar. Listen, the sound may seem as though they come from a distant land, but they call from your innermost chambers. So I got to say, that energy from the day before yesterday, that Pisces, from the Pisces moon, you gain certain awareness in your Pisces, your own unseen energies. You know certain things that you can't see, but you know for a fact. That's what this energy is talking about. That probably, whatever you came into awareness of, don't downplay it, and don't try to like sweep it up under the rug. This is something that's going to whatever the awareness, I don't know, let me pull some more, because I'm the type, I just try to not be too specific, because I don't want to self-project. And I don't want to just be talking out my ass either. So let me see. Carols. What Carol's talking about? $76, 7, 7, 14, 13. That's 4. The thoughts. You knowing something. Another awareness, because it's another number. It's a masculine number. Page 219, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 3 energy. Understanding these things. Okay. So this is giving insightful energy. But by this eye looking like an animal eye, like I said, it's going from the root all the way up. You can understand the root chakra all the way up to the crown, like Kundalini energy. Where we at? This is an initiation too. Okay, you got to be initiated. 219. You got to be initiated to be able to be in this space. And it's part at the end of the book. Is this the last? No, this is a couple of cards before the last card of the book. We have all had the experience of timelessness, of life beyond the ticking of the clock. It may be felt as time standing still, slow motion, or losing track of time on a walk or in a lovely conversation. This is known as the mythic time. Let me say it before I forget it. No, mind. I ain't gonna forget. And it is the territory of Kairos. This card suggests there is a secondary time continuum that goes beyond any earthly clocks and schedules. Within this nonlinear realm, we access divine timing. A single moment ripens with auspiciousness, and our actions change the trajectory of our whole life. Time becomes a living thing that watches over us and tells us precisely when to speak or act. When this card appears, it is all about patience and precision. No clock can guide you. Wait for the rush of inner knowing and not a moment longer. So that's what that's okay. You can be aware of time. You can be aware of time slowing down by being placed in certain positions. Somebody might call you out and you know, go in on your ass, jank the fuck out you. Time may slow down for you in that moment because you're like, what the fuck? Like, I'm actually, this is really, you know what I'm saying? So when we were talking about the certain spaces that you were in, to be aware of certain awarenesses coming from whatever, I don't want to go into that energy right now, but this is you being aware in moment to moment. You having more, because being more aware from moment to moment gives you a more handle and more precise perspective of how you are, how things are, and how things are interacting, and what can become out of what's going on in whatever moment. And it'll help you be able to peep game on a spiritual level, not in a logical way though. What number this was? 9, 10, 11, 12. This is 3 energy, androgynous energy. This is being aware of the environment, being the observer. Even though it's looking from the root chakra, it has an overall perspective of all of those things from the inside to the outside. This is an observer energy, being aware of the experience. But anyway, and those things that we were talking about could have this be in its dark. I'm talking about the things that we were talking about in the last message, the last video, could have this energy in its light or dark perspective. So in its light perspective, this would be alignment, ease, and decision and action. And you can be placed in certain positions, but just you being aware of the fact that you're being placed in a position, just you being aware of that can help align your actions and how you're even going to interact with the exchange of the scenario or what's going on. But you can not be aware of this energy or not be aware of like your options, your choices, and what is actually going on from moment to moment. And that will cause you to fight against time. That'll make time take a long time. And then after that long ass time, nothing good was accomplished out of it. But be more in the light perspective of this. Now, is that all of the cards? I think that is. Hell yeah. I'm glad. What's up? Rewind, JD baby. Rewind. Cause yeah. Nah, I'm done for real. I didn't feel quite complete with that last message, so that's the reason why I came back. I'm done for real this time. I fuck with y'all. Holla at y'all later.